Jason pedaled through the dimly lit alleyway, his bike tires crunching over bits of broken glass and debris. He hated this shortcut, but it saved him at least 10 minutes on his route. The abandoned warehouses loomed over him, their windows shattered, graffiti covering every inch of the brick walls. The whole place smelled like rust and stale beer. Then he saw it. A large black suitcase sat in the middle of the alley, right between two dumpsters. It was too perfect, too obvious. Someone had left it there, but why? Jason slowed down, skidding his bike to a stop. His delivery bag swung against his back as he put one foot on the ground. He glanced around. The alley was empty. The only sound was the distant hum of traffic from the main street. Don't be stupid, Jason. Just keep moving. But his curiosity wouldn't let him. He stepped closer. The suitcase looked expensive, leather, sturdy, the kind businessmen carried in airports. But something was wrong. The locks were busted, the zippers half open. Whoever left it here hadn't just dropped it. They had abandoned it in a hurry. Jason exhaled slowly, then knelt beside it. His hands hesitated over the lid. What if there's a bomb inside? Drugs, a body part? He swallowed hard. Then, in one quick motion, he lifted the top. Stacks of crisp $100 bills stared back at him. Jason's breath hitched. He blinked, expecting the image to change, for reality to snap back into place. But the money was still there. Dozens of thick bundles tightly packed together. More cash than he had ever seen in his life. His fingers hovered over the bills. His whole body tingled with adrenaline. This is life-changing money. Then he saw something underneath. A thin black folder and a flash drive. Jason's excitement twisted into unease. Money lying around was suspicious enough, but documents, a flash drive? That meant someone cared about what was inside. His instincts screamed at him to walk away. But then, a sound. A faint shuffle behind him. Jason spun around, his heart slamming against his ribs. Nothing, the alley was still empty. He looked up at the fire escapes, the rooftops, no one. But the feeling didn't leave, his skin prickled. Someone was watching. Jason turned back to the suitcase. His breathing was unsteady. He knew he had seconds to decide. He grabbed the flash drive, shoved the folder into his backpack, then hesitated. Do I take the money? This wasn't just somebody's money. This was dirty money, cartel money, gang money, or worse. But what if they never come back for it? His fingers brushed over the bills, then froze. In the distance, a car door slammed. Jason didn't think. He grabbed his bike, shoved the suitcase into his backpack as much as it would fit, and pedaled as fast as he could. Behind him, a dark SUV rolled slowly into the alley. Jason didn't look back. Jason burst into his apartment, heart hammering. He slammed the door shut, twisted the lock, and pressed his back against the wood, gasping for breath. His tiny Brooklyn apartment felt even smaller with the adrenaline coursing through his veins. The dim light from the kitchen flickered, the sound of a neighbor's TV droned through the thin walls, but none of it registered. All he could hear was his own heartbeat. He dropped his backpack onto the floor and unzipped it with shaky hands. The suitcase hadn't fit completely, so he had left it behind a dumpster, hidden in the shadows. He only took the folder and the flash drive. Whatever was inside had to be more important than the money. He grabbed his laptop from the cluttered coffee table, hesitated, then pulled the curtains shut before sitting down. Jason stared at the flash drive in his palm. It was black, unmarked, nothing special. But whatever was on it had been important enough for someone to leave behind hundreds of thousands of dollars to protect it. He exhaled sharply and plugged it into his laptop. A single folder appeared on the screen. Operation Cobalt. Jason swallowed hard. He clicked it open. Inside were several video files and a document labeled Names. His fingers hovered over the document, but his gut told him to check the videos first. He clicked the first one. The screen flickered to life. A surveillance camera feed. The footage showed a man in a dark suit sitting at a restaurant booth speaking to someone off camera. The setting was upscale. White tablecloths, crystal glasses, low lighting. Jason turned up the volume. He knows too much. Get rid of him tonight. Jason's blood ran cold. The man leaned forward, his expression sharp, authoritative. He wasn't making a suggestion. He was giving an order. Make it look like an accident. The suitcase goes to the drop-off point. Jason's stomach twisted. The suitcase. He grabbed the folder from his backpack and flipped it open, scanning the contents. Documents, spreadsheets, transaction logs. Some were heavily redacted, but one word kept popping up. Cobalt. He clicked on another video. This one showed a man being dragged into a black SUV. His muffled screams made Jason's hands tighten into fists. He shut the laptop. His breaths came faster now. What the hell had he just stumbled into? A sudden knock at the door made his stomach drop. Jason's pulse spiked. He sat frozen, staring at the door, his mind racing. Then another knock, louder this time. He reached for his phone. 911. A voice from the other side of the door made him stop cold. "We know you're in there." Jason's breath hitched. The voice was calm. Too calm. He stayed silent, barely breathing. "Jason, open up. We just want to talk." Jason's mind reeled. How did they know my name? How did they find me so fast? The doorknob twitched. Jason grabbed his backpack, stuffed the laptop inside, and looked toward the window. He was on the second floor. Not ideal, but better than whatever was on the other side of that door. Then, the doorknob started turning. Jason didn't wait. He lunged for the window, shoved it open, and climbed onto the fire escape just as the door burst open behind him. Shit, he's running! Jason jumped. Jason hit the pavement hard, rolling to absorb the impact. Pain shot through his shoulder, but he didn't stop. He scrambled to his feet and took off running. Behind him, the sound of boots slamming against the metal fire escape sent a fresh wave of panic through his veins. They're coming. The streets were wet from the evening drizzle, neon reflections shimmering in puddles. Jason ducked into a narrow alley, his breath ragged. He clutched his backpack tight, knowing the flash drive inside was worth more than his life right now. "There!" a voice shouted from behind. Jason bolted. He darted between dumpsters, leaped over a knocked-over shopping cart, and skidded around a corner. His lungs burned. His legs screamed for a break, but he couldn't stop. A black SUV screeched onto the street ahead, tires skidding against the wet pavement. The passenger door swung open, and a man in a dark suit stepped out, calm, collected, like he already knew Jason wouldn't escape. Jason's heart slammed against his ribs. Trapped. "End of the line, kid," the man said, his voice smooth but firm. Jason's eyes darted around. Think, think. The only way out was up. His gaze locked onto a fire escape ladder just a few feet away. No time to hesitate. He sprinted toward it. A shot cracked through the night. The bullet hit the brick wall inches from his head. Jason dove, grabbed the metal rung, and hauled himself up. "Get him!" someone barked. Jason climbed like his life depended on it, because it did. Hands grabbed at his ankles. He kicked hard, hearing a grunt as one of them lost grip. Reaching the rooftop, he rolled over the ledge, panting, no time to rest. He ran across the flat rooftop, dodging rusted vents and air conditioning units. A few buildings away, an old sign flickered. "Tommy's Computers, Repairs and Tech, Leo." Jason's only chance. He sprinted to the edge, praying the next building wasn't too far. But there was no choice. He took a deep breath and jumped. For a second, he was weightless, soaring through the cold night air. Then, impact. He slammed onto the gravel rooftop, pain exploding in his knees and wrists. He barely had time to roll before another shot whizzed past him. He staggered up and sprinted toward the back of the building. He knew there was a ladder leading down. Leo always used it for smoke breaks. Jason swung over the edge and slid down the metal rails, landing in the alley behind Tommy's shop. He pounded on the door. "Leo, open up!" Silence. Jason's chest heaved. He tried again, fist slamming against the metal. "Leo, it's me. Open the damn door." A lock clicked. The door cracked open just enough for Leo's sharp brown eyes to peek out. "Jesus, Jay!" Leo started, but Jason shoved inside, slamming the door behind him. "Lock it now!" Leo hesitated, then bolted the door shut. Jason collapsed against the wall, chest rising and falling. His body ached, but he was alive. Leo folded his arms. "Okay, what the hell did you do?" Jason reached into his backpack and pulled out the flash drive. "I think I just stole something I wasn't supposed to." Leo stared at the flash drive in Jason's shaking hands. His expression flickered between curiosity and concern. "Okay, you want to tell me why you look like you just robbed the mafia?" Jason exhaled sharply, still catching his breath. He wiped the sweat from his forehead and pointed at Leo's workbench, cluttered with spare computer parts, tangled cables, and half-eaten energy bars. Just plug this in, please. Leo narrowed his eyes. Dude, what the hell is this? If this thing fries my system, I swear. Jason slammed his hand on the desk. Leo, just do it. Leo blinked, taken aback. Jason never yelled. All right, chill, man. Leo grabbed a laptop from the pile, booted it up, and inserted the flash drive. A folder appeared almost instantly. Operation Cobalt. Jason clenched his jaw. Click it. Leo hesitated. Dude, should we even be looking at this? What if it's like government shit? It's worse. Leo sighed and opened the folder. Several video files and a document titled Names appeared on the screen. Jesus, what is this? Jason's throat tightened. Play the first video. Leo clicked. A grainy surveillance feed appeared. The timestamp in the corner read 2 nights ago. A well-dressed man sat in a dimly lit restaurant, speaking to someone off camera. The audio was low, but Jason already knew what was coming. Then the voice rang through the speakers, smooth, calm, deadly. He knows too much. Get rid of him tonight. The suitcase goes to the drop-off point. Leo's fingers froze over the trackpad. His face paled. What the? Jason swallowed hard. Yeah, keep watching. Leo dragged the cursor to the next file. This time the footage was from a security camera outside a parking garage. A man was being dragged into a black SUV, kicking and screaming. His muffled cries sent chills down Jason's spine. Leo recoiled. Holy shit, man! Is this real? Jason rubbed his temples. I found that suitcase. Leo's head snapped toward him. The one they were talking about? Jason nodded. It was just sitting there, full of cash, but under the money, this drive and a folder full of documents. Leo ran a hand through his hair. Jesus, Jason, and you took it? Jason gave a humorless laugh. I didn't exactly know I was stealing from a goddamn crime syndicate. Leo leaned back, exhaling. All right, so they're looking for you now. That explains the psycho at your door. Jason's stomach twisted at the memory, the cold, controlled voice through the wood. We know you're in there. He shuddered. Can you crack open that document, the names? Jason asked. Leo hesitated, then clicked on the file. A list popped up, dozens of names. Some were marked with red X's. Jason's eyes scanned down until his breath caught in his throat. His name was on the list. Jason Carter. And next to it, a red X. His blood ran cold. Leo, I think I'm already dead, Leo cursed under his breath. Not if we make this public. Jason looked at him. You think that'll stop them? Leo nodded. If they wanted this buried, then blowing it up is your best shot at staying alive. We leak this to the right places, and they can't touch you without bringing heat on themselves. Jason swallowed hard. It was a long shot, but better than waiting to be hunted down. Do it. Leo cracked his knuckles. Hope you're ready, man, because the second I hit send, there's no going back. Jason's jaw tightened. There's no back to go to. Leo hovered over the keyboard, then hit enter. The files started uploading, and somewhere out in the dark city, Jason knew. They were already coming for him.